How many Lukes does it take to win a game of Star Wars Unlimited? Let's find out, because in this deck, every single one of them knows how to swing a lightsaber. I'm Cody, and today we're looking at a thematic but surprisingly competitive Luke tribal deck that brings together 3 different Luke units and the set 1 Luke leader, giving us 4 unique Lukes to take advantage of Luke's lightsaber. Whether it's early aggression, mid-game pressure, or late-game heroics, this deck has a Luke for the job. Let's start with our first Luke, the leader. Luke Skywalker, Faithful Friend. His ability lets you pay 1 to put a shield on a heroism unit that was played this turn. Now, it's a bit restricted, but the payoff can be huge. In fact, there are times where it's worth playing off curve just to take advantage of the shield, especially in certain matchups. But where Luke really shines is in his deploy side. When he flips, he can give any other unit a shield on attack. That turns your other Lukes and Sentinel units into sticky threats and forces your opponent to waste extra resources just to deal with them. We're running 3 different Luke units in the deck, each filling a unique role. We have Luke Skywalker, You Still With Me, is our early game option at just 2 cost. He gives us a body to get aggressive with and an immediate lightsaber target if we want to apply pressure right away. Luke Skywalker, A Hero's Beginning, is one of my favorite cards from Legends of the Force, and really the heart of this deck. If your opponent doesn't deal with him quickly, he can snowball completely out of control. And finally, Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight, serves as our big stabilizer. He not only helps you catch up when you're behind, but also brings in built-in removal for the late game, making him a powerful closer. To support our Lukes, we're running a Sentinel package, with cards like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Protective Padawan, Obi-Wan Kenobi Following Fate, and Chirrut. These are all fantastic with shields and help keep our Lukes alive long enough to matter. And when you pair that with our leader's deployability, they become even harder to remove. Now, Chirrut doesn't work with the front side of our leader, since he's not a heroism unit, but he does synergize beautifully with Rey keeping the past. Rey can heal 2 damage from Chirrut, while also giving him a shield, making him a very sticky mid-game threat. That interaction is actually one of the main reasons to consider running a card like Secretive Sage, but I've chosen to go with Gungi instead. Gungi adds another low-cost, unique body, which is perfect for triggering Luke Skywalker, A Hero's Beginning, while keeping the deck synergy tight. For the upgrades in the deck, we're just running 2. Jedi Lightsaber alongside Luke's Lightsaber. I opted for Jedi Lightsaber over General's Blade because I like the flexibility of being able to trade up into bigger units while still threatening pressure, rather than the ramp. But the real centerpiece of the deck is, of course, Luke's Lightsaber. With 4 different Luke units in the deck, it's almost never stranded in your hand, and that's kind of the beauty of playing a build like this. One thing to be aware of is that Luke's lightsaber is actually unique, so you can't stack multiple Lukes with their own lightsabers at once. Beyond that, we got a mix of support tools like Concord Dawn Interceptors, and Redemption for holding down the space arena, Luminous Beams for a finisher to help win games out of nowhere. It's kind of like our Surprise Strike. Cards like Fell the Dragon, Shatterpoint, and Rival's Fall give us some good removal options, while Yoda, My Ally is the Force, and Kelleran Beck round out the top end. Our sideboard is teched mostly for the control matchup, which are definitely going to be this deck's toughest matchups. So to pressure the slower decks, we've got extra aggressive threats like Maz Kanata and Chewbacca. Chewie is difficult to remove and pairs surprisingly well with lightsabers, giving us a sticky threat to carry upgrades. And occasionally, you will use his pilot ability on one of our space units to lane dodge. This won't be often, but it is a play that you can make. For the grindy matches that are going to go long, we've added Tech, Source of Insight, to be able to get removal or late game threats from your resources that you may have had to resource early on. We've also got some extra removal, plus Aggrieved Parliamentarian, specifically for the Kylo Ren and other discard focused strategies. Overall, the sideboard is flexible and is definitely something you can tune for your own local meta, but the core plan is to make control decks sweat. And that's the deck. Between our different Lukes, strong Sentinel package, and the power of Luke's lightsaber, this list has plenty of ways to adapt to win games. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button, as it really helps more people find the channel. And if you want to see more Star Wars Unlimited deck techs, gameplay, and fun brews, make sure to hit that subscribe button too. Now let's see how this deck performs in-game. Alright, we're here against Han Solo 1, Tarkin Town. This should be pretty interesting. I haven't seen much of this deck before. We are gonna mulligan this. This hand is better. Get rid of 1 Obi-Wan and a Luke, I guess. Just start with the regular Luke. Is he gonna play a resource? He is, so there could be an Ezra. Could be a lot of options here. Okay, Falcon. Also a very strong turn 1 play. Worried about Waylay in this matchup. So I don't think we can just slam the lightsaber and go to town here. I think we have to be more patient. Because we play Luke's lightsaber and he waylays, I think that's just a blowout, especially now with the Falcon. Yeah, so we'll just play Obi-Wan here. We'll claim. Put one lightsaber back. So, could still waylay. So we could just Shatterpoint, which I think might be the play. We'll use the Force, kill the Falcon. He could play another Falcon. If he doesn't, we're in a pretty good shape for racing here. Gives us a much better block. And then we can still save the Concord Dawn Interceptors for later. Okay, get the Force back. We're in pretty good shape here. So we never had another... When defeated, they discard a card. Interesting. Another Concord Dawn. I wonder, is this kind of like the Han... With new Han that was played at the Galactics, but with the first Han? So just a space variant here without the pilots, I guess. So is that the case? Ooh, we have the combo here. I'll put one Concord Dawn Interceptors. This might be a mistake if he is all in on space, but we'll see here. Because we can play Chirrut? No, play Rey and then Chirrut. If he doesn't have to be all space, we'll be in very good shape. Or play Concord Dawn Interceptors, give it a shield. So we have a couple options here. We can Luke's lightsaber plus Concord Dawn Interceptors, but then we can't give it a shield. We can Chirrut, and that's it. Okay, he's gone up to 6, so he's going to deploy his leader. So I think we just do 3 damage to base, and then play Chirrut this turn. Obviously, we can't give a shield because of Luke's ability is heroism, but he's going to 7, which means Big Han is probably coming down next turn. And this gives us 2 Sentinels, so... And having to take damage on his Han here is pretty good for us. Okay, he's giving him a blaster. Alright, we'll just claim. We do have the Force, so actually he still doesn't get through here. Which is pretty nice. And then we can trade off with our Chirrut, I guess. It depends who he attacks into. 5 resources left. What else could he have here for 5? Plo Koon could be strong play. Oh, Han, that works too. We will definitely trigger Chirrut here. Because we do still have Obi-Wan. Obviously, he can take it out there, but is what it is. Saves us some damage. Ooh, Luminous Beams. Alright, 6 resources. So I think we just have to trade off our Luke into Han Leader. So 6 is a lot of damage here. I mean, we're still taking a decent amount either way, but... So if we play Luke Skywalker... We don't have enough to one-shot him this turn. Alright, so we will play Concord Dawn. I think we're actually just going to deploy Luke, take out Han, Luke's lightsaber to shield Han. Ah. Well, there goes our Luminous Beans play. Alright, we'll deploy Luke. Okay, well, now we just have to do it this way. We will still kill Han. We'll just trade our shield. We'll shield Concord Dawn Interceptors. Makes it harder for him to get through again. And he will have to discard if he trades these guys off, which is actually pretty good for us. Do we want the Ray? Okay, I think it's either going to be Ray or Shatterpoint. We could have kept both them, but we really did want to get the 7 resources here. So we'll see what they do. A Big Han can't take out our Luke now. If they trade one off, they'll have to discard. We can attack and put in their shield, so we're in a pretty good position here. And we got the win. Alright, GG. Alright, we're here taking on Admiral Ackbar. This is a pretty cool deck, actually. I think this just won a PQ, if I'm not mistaken, so that's pretty cool. Alright, we're going to resource one of the counselors, and we might actually need the Yoda, so I might do Caloran back instead. Keep the Concordon. We'll play the Jedi Counselor first to potentially get the ramp. We can do some pretty cool plays with them, so we'll go with that. Do we want the Rey or the Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan. We'll actually put back Yaddle. Now we could play Yaddle and put a shield, but I think we're just gonna play Obi-Wan Kenobi here. Exhausted to make a X-Wing. He's going to have a lot of space units, which could be problematic for us, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. Oh, he's going super wide here. Ooh, we have our Luke, and we have a Jedi lightsaber, so... I want to keep this, but... I don't know if the Luke is actually going to be the right play here. So we're going to put him back. We can take out some of his units. We could use the Force and ramp into Rey, but he could get bounced back to hand, so... I think we're just going to start with an attack to base and see how it goes here. We could start taking out his units, but I think he's going to go wide enough anyway, yeah. Now we can either play Concordonants or Scepters. I think that's what we're going to do, and put a shield on it. Kind of hold down the space, and then we should be able to take over the ground in the late game anyway. And we will give it a shield. Make it a bit harder to get through for him. Now, being in green, we don't have, like, bombing run here, so... this could be a rough spot for us. Fel the Dragon doesn't seem good in this matchup. So we can either play Rey, kill the shuttle. That might be good, actually. We take out Leia. We play this. That's all we're doing for this turn, which seems bad, but at the same time, getting this back to ramp into Yoda could be really strong. Yeah, we're just going to take this out. I'm not sure if this is the right play here, but I think being able to ramp into Yoda next turn has a pretty high upside. Okay, he had another one anyway. We'll just take out one of his units here. This doesn't count as being played, so we'll claim. Hopefully our counselor lives, which he does. Yes. Perfect. Ooh, Chirrut. We're going to keep Chirrut over Obi-Wan. Both of them will have Sentinel anyway, but I think we're just going to use his ability here. Play Yoda. Oh, shoot. So we never got to use the Force there, but we have Chirrut to use the Force after, which is pretty good. I would like to heal 5, but I think just getting a big unit into play here is actually pretty good. And it gives our Obi-Wan Sentinel, so soak up some of the damage. We'll deploy Luke. This is a really cool deck. I actually really like this deck. I'm not really sure what this is for. Now, do we want to take out some of the units here? We're going to take some damage. I think we do for now, and we'll just give the counselor a shield, so it makes him harder to take out. We'll claim. He can bring out Ackbar. Ooh, Millennium Falcon is really good here. Going wide with space units is really rough for this deck, actually. This is probably a really rough matchup. Without like something like Bombing Run, this is just brutal. We also don't have a Sentinel on the ground. I guess I could have played Chirrut before, but I don't know if it would have mattered. So we can... Okay, we use the Force to play Luke. Nothing was defeated. We give something -3. We kill... We get to deal 10 damage. We can do that to Ackbar, but there's so many space units. We don't have a Sentinel. We have a Sentinel there. Alright, we'll kill Ackbar. I don't know if we have a way to come back from this. We're just so far behind. We do have a lot of restore here with Luke now. If we can get something else going, we might have a chance. Yoda is really good. We just don't have a constant way to use the Force besides the Counselor, which is pretty good, I guess. Made up another token. Alright, they're not doing too much damage. We'll give a shield here. This can at least take away a few units. I guess we have to try to come back and race a bit. We'll claim... Don't know if we can. If we have another Concord Dawn, we might be able to. Okay, he had another Falcon. Never mind. Alright, that's going to do it for Luke Tribal. I hope you enjoyed seeing all 4 Lukes in action, and how the deck grinds out wins with shields, sentinels, and some lightsaber swings. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. How many Lukes do you think is the right number? And would you change the build or keep it as it is? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.